So I'm going to tell you about the most telling thing I saw with the speeches of Pete Hegseth and the President Trump to the commanding officers at Quantico. I think the most disturbing thing that's going to they're going to escalate this to the next level by firing generals or just going rampant with the military to find people who are sycophants, is what was at the end of each speech. Both of those men expected them to cheer. Both of those men expected those seasoned commanding officers to get up and cheer and chant like some kind of MAGA convention. What they got was, when he ended the speech, everyone went a 10 hut. They stood there, and when he walked off, they went IEs and sat down. Same thing with Trump. When he got done with that rambling speech that went everywhere, threatened the United States, U.S. citizens, it was ridiculous. But I remember watching at the end of the speech, there was some cheering, but it wasn't the officers, it was the Trump staff that were clapping. Again, the soldiers stood up, 10 hut, waited for the president to leave. Trump was waiting for his accolades. And they didn't give them to him. They were just waiting for the commander-in-chief to walk off the stage. Because you never cheer when a commanding officer gives you a speech. You're dismissed at the end. And he stood there just for a moment, and you can tell in his eyes that he was like surprised and upset, because they just stood there at attention waiting for him to walk off the stage, waiting for the order to be dismissed. And he was very upset about it because he wanted cheers. And he walked off, and the officers stood still standing there waiting for the order to be dismissed. And one of the staffers picked up the speech and walked out. At that point, the officer said, "Okay, we're done." That is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with men who have no idea how protocol works. They think those guys are puppets. I know there's discussion within the military right now is what the fuck are we going to do about this? Because that was not good. It's a bad look for them, and it bodes ill later on if a crisis comes up.